What is going on, guys? Lord Valor here, and welcome back to another episode of Lifecast on the Saucium channel. It's good to be back. You may have noticed the lack of uploads. Don't freak out, it's still alive. I'm just heavily editing my content before I release it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But today on the podcast episode.
You're struggling.
Podcasting is a struggle today, apparently. I've had to redo my intro like 3 times. We have Kayla's back on the podcast.
Hey, guys.
She's been here, oh my goodness, so many times.
It's gotta have
It's
been like
unbelievable.
4 or 5 now, right?
And I was thinking right before we came here about, like, how many years have I been doing this podcast? Because we only have, like, 27 episodes this would be. But I've been doing this since, like, high school, so it's weird to me to think about that. And you were one of the first people I ever had on.
Was I?
You were like the third,
I
but
don't
like
remember this.
we've done this before. So the first episode came out in 2019. So
Holy
in
cow.
March 1. So it's ironically almost been 3 years since the start of this podcast.
Wow, that's insane.
And yeah, I would say we've had a significant turnaround in quality since then, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
But we've definitely found a focus.
I was on there for the 1917 one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the first one you were on?
1917. That was the first one.
1917. Mm-hmm. So that was episode 7. So you've been on here for about 20 episodes. So congratulations on that, I guess.
Woo woo.
Guess who's been on there every time?
I wonder why.
I wonder why. Maybe it's because I'm the host. Wonder how that works. That and everybody and their dog has a podcast, so like. Anyway, so yeah, just thank you guys if you guys have been here listening to the podcast. It does mean a lot. I'm gonna be releasing a lot of heavily edited based content, as you saw with that Siege video. And I'm also gonna be doing podcasting because it's too fun at this point to give it up, and I get to have worthless rants about movies on it, so like it's a win-win, honestly.
There you go, exactly.
And anyone who likes to hear me waffle about that is just as much as a sucker as I am.
Hi.
So thank you again for listening. I don't normally self-plug my other YouTube channel.
Oh.
But I'm gonna do it. I did it when we released the Clock Tower video. I'm gonna do it again. Me and a group of friends participated in something called Prairie Grass, which challenges filmmakers to make a film in 48 hours. And so me and some other digital media majors made the short film Brainstorming. And so if you want to go check that out, link will be in the description, obviously. I'm not just going to make you go search for it. But yeah, it would be great if you guys would go check out that, because that's also a lot of my life is like making films along with this YouTube. A lot of my internet life is those two things. So if you want to just let me know how that is, that'd be great.
Go watch it. It's pretty freaking awesome.
See, I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but when you make a film, you go through phases, right? So at the beginning, when we first started, we're like, this is gonna be so cool. We're gonna do so well. It's gonna be so great, right? And then by the end, you're just like, this sucks. I hate it, and I don't want any part of it. You just like, you have this stages of like love, hate, love, hate, love, hate, and then eventually you begin to love it again after a while. But like, it takes a while once you've created something like that, and that's what it is with Brainstorming. Right now, I'm just like, this is wrong with it, this is wrong with it, this is wrong with it. I like pick it apart to pieces. But when it's your own creative thing, you kind of do that.
Right.
So, anyway, let's move on into some news, some things that are happening in the cinematic universe, aka the theaters. I don't know what that was.
Are you okay?
I'm trying to be profound, Kayla. Come on. So March 4, right around the corner, The Batman is releasing. It's just a new Batman movie. People are excited. I'm not. DC has to remake a Batman every year or something for some reason, and I just don't know when they're gonna stick one. That I would love to have my mind changed, but
DC is not my forte, so
no.
I'm just not gonna say anything.
They're very dark, and I appreciate that. That they can be dark, but there's also a point where it's too dark.
That's fair.
And also, they need to remake their movies like 5 times a year because they can't seem to figure it out.
We love that.
Also, Uncharted is in theaters right now. I was gonna go see that tonight.
Oh, I do want to see that.
Other things came in the way. I've heard mixed reviews, so definitely probably gonna be talking about that on the podcast once I see it.
Oh.
Because it has Tom Holland who's stepping out of his Spider-Man role, which is what most people know him for now. So that'll be fun to see him in a different role, right?
I want to see that. I've seen commercials and trailers for that, and I'm like,
yeah.
Yes, I want to watch that. Looks really good.
So we're going to be talking about Encanto today, but that reminds, I'm seeing here that Turning Red is coming out March 11. Are you excited for that, Kayla? From what you've seen of it?
I haven't seen anything about
it.
I'm gonna be honest. Sorry, I don't pay
something
attention
about
to that.
a red panda. That's all I know. Like this guy turns into a red panda, and I don't know.
Huh.
It's it seems interesting. But yeah, that'll be.
I don't have TV anymore. I just watch Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
So I don't ever see commercials.
Most people are with you on the streaming services, not TV, but
yeah. So I don't.
Because like you can pay for like 5 streaming services for the same price of cable, and probably get more out of those 5 streaming services than you can with cable, unless you're a sports fan.
That's true.
But even then, you have Peacock.
Yeah.
You know.
That's fair. I mean, I'll watch YouTube. What I have is YouTube TV, and you get a lot on there, which is what I watch, like sports through and some like Masked Singer and that kind of thing. Yeah. But other than that, I don't watch a lot of like live TV
and
shows.
Even those you can watch on a streaming service. Like there's a new.
Well, YouTube TV is a streaming service.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Even like the stuff that you're supposed to watch on live television, I'm saying in quotes. Right. You can watch with the streaming service.
Exactly.
That's what I'm gonna do with the new show Domino Masters. Hint, hint. We might have someone from the critically acclaimed TV show Domino Masters on the podcast. I might be knocking on wood here because it might not happen, but I'm gonna see if he's willing to talk to me. I'm not trying to leech off his publicity. It's an interesting interview for sure, and for sure I think people would be hearing from him. So. Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. Hopefully, to see that.
I'm excited for that. That starts what March
9, which is when a lot of other TV shows start.
Right.
So.
But I am excited for Domino Masters to come out. But that's
I've seen Lego Masters, and that's pretty good.
Lego, it's very similar concept, right?
It's very similar. Hence the names.
Anyway. Yeah, exactly. Downtown Abbey: A New Era for you Downtown Abbey fans. March 18 is coming out. Yep. I know nothing about that, so that's...
No. Oh, fantastic. Beats the Secrets of Dumbledore on April 15. Excuse you.
Yeah, so you're jumping ahead of me, but yeah, I haven't seen any of the I've seen the first Fantastic Beasts.
I haven't seen
and that's it. And I really want to see them, because they keep coming out with them, and people keep saying, oh, they're shit. Oh, they're shit. And, like, people get really upset, and it's like...
Okay, but now it says The Secrets of Dumbledore.
I know, and
Harry
it has the Dumbledore in it, and I just want to go see. It's all Harry Potter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Fantastic Beasts is all Harry Potter.
Well, it's written by the same author, J.K. Rowling.
I think so.
Isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is.
I would think so. I don't really know.
I'm going to go look this up.
What I was going to go say is Morbius, which is that new... the new Marvel television show that's coming... Or new Marvel movie that's coming out. It's owned by Sony, I do believe.
Yeah, it's by J.K. Rowling.
Okay, Fantastic Beasts. Okay.
Yes.
So Morbius, I believe, is owned by Sony, but they're going to try to bring him into the MCU. It seems like Sony and Disney are starting to hold hands like an old couple again.
Okay, well, Disney's a monopoly, so there's that.
Well, I know, but Sony is pretty big too,
That's
and
true.
they were both pretty like sketchy with each other because of this stupid like we want money. But they're both freaking rich, so they can suck it up. But yeah, no, it's Sony and Disney seem to be on better terms, so Morbius will probably be part of the MCU, because there's thoughts of bringing Deadpool in. They already brought Venom in for Marvel fans who are really into this. So, like, that's going to be interesting. Sonic the Hedgehog is coming out in April 8th. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I should add. Apparently there's a first.
There is a first. Have I seen it? No. But I know there is a first.
Sounds like something I don't need to pay attention to.
Sounds about like it. Oh, yeah, Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange in May. which will be, or May 6th is said release date.
In the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, so that's going to have Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen, and she plays... I don't know the name. I don't know the names of the actors, which is really terrible, but Wanda's going to be in it a lot. And so it's supposed to connect Loki. So, like, Disney Plus came out with several series, like WandaVision, Loki, and those two are supposed to be the connection bridge between what happened in Endgame and what happens with Multiverse of Madness. So it's supposed to link those bridges. So you should go watch those two for sure.
And the Spider-Man... What was it called?
The Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah,
also had connections to the multiverse as well.
That introduced it because obviously.
Well, technically, the Loki introduced.
Well, okay, yeah.
But if you haven't seen that, if you're only watching the movie, Spider-Man is your introduction. But yeah, so if you are a Marvel fan and you haven't seen those two, you definitely need to go see those two.
Yes. Legally Blonde 3? Excuse me.
Yeah. That's May 20. Listen, from what I've heard of the Legally Blonde, it's just not my genre.
It is not your genre. It is definitely my genre, and it is the best. I love those movies. She is like, you would think she is the dumb blonde, right? But then she gets into a courtroom, and she is the smartest person in there. They're some of my favorite movies. You should just watch them once. Just watch them once.
It gives me vibes of the Ghostbusters Women remake.
See, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that, so I wouldn't know.
For everybody else. I could be totally wrong on that, but whatever. Top Gun. Yeah, we had the same thought with Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Top Gun Maverick.
I was going to say, you've seen the original, right?
Yes,
oh,
yes.
So good.
So, Tom Cruise, he's a great actor, and I will watch him in a lot of things.
I need to tell my parents about that. They love Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Gun. Jurassic World Dominion with Chris Pratt is coming out. I've already seen people get upset because they're running the Jurassic World into the ground, or Jurassic World and Jurassic Park franchise into the ground.
They have so many movies out as well.
Chris Pratt's in it, so I'll watch it because I like Chris Pratt. I'm gonna be honest.
Fair.
Chris Pratt is high quality content. But I'll go see Jurassic World as well, Dominion, because
you want to see it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it'll be good to shit on. You know, it's like
That's fair.
there are some movies that you walk on, and it's just like, I'm so passionate about this being bad that I could do hours of speaking on this.
This is true.
Lightyear with Chris Evans, which is this. Have you heard about this, Kayla?
No.
So Lightyear it's going to be kind of a meta film for Pixar because they're creating Buzz Lightyear, like the astronaut that inspired the toy. They're telling his story from Toy. So like the Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story.
I have heard about that. Now that you say that.
Yeah, so it's kind of meta in that way, which is no, I don't think that's bad. I'm actually kind of a fan of meta if it's done properly.
True. That'll be interesting.
But yeah, so Lightyear, I'm kind of upset that they didn't get my man Tim Allen. Yeah. they didn't get my man Tim Allen to do the voiceover for him, but
now,
Chris Evans is
myself.
Yeah, it's Tim Allen.
Yeah,
Chris Evans is a very gifted actor, and I'm sure he'll be a great Buzz Lightyear as well. So I'm not gonna judge it too much on that.
Cool.
The last one we are gonna talk about here is Minions: The Rise of Gru. That releases July 1. I love the whole like Despicable Me and Minions franchise. It just brings me joy because it's so dumb, right?
Yes.
There's like butt jokes always win.
True. I've been told my sisters and I are like the three Margot, Edith, and Agnes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I've been told my sisters and I are like them.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Thor: Love and Thunder, I will mention that one. July 8. It's... Yeah, my silence will tell you... They'll tell you how I kind of feel about it. I don't know... I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about it. If it turns into a whole feminine movement thing, count me out. I don't mind subtle reminders of that, but when it becomes like full-fledged why they're doing the movie, Ghostbusters or Milan, that Ghostbusters remake or the new Milan movie,
Yes.
like if it becomes the center point of the story, count me out. Like, because movies in their core are meant to reflect culture, right?
Yes.
And it would be remiss if they didn't have some sort of, oh yeah, women can do things men can. Yeah, sure.
True.
You know, like, there's that whole aspect too, but when it's the central piece and that's why they made the movie, that is not the move.
Right.
So yeah, that is the movie releases coming in 2022. So we'll move out of that and we'll move into the main discussion, which is Encanto. So Kayla,
Yes.
I'm gonna let you start. What are your thoughts on Encanto?
Well, so I've seen it, I think 3 times now.
Oh goodness.
Excuse you, I'm a Disney fan.
I know you are. That's why you're here.
Okay. So, I really actually like it for a few reasons. One, this deserves its own mention. The music by Lin-Manuel Miranda. He is so good, and he deserves to be mentioned because all the music in it is written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, and you can tell there are connections to In the Heights and Hamilton. Totally in it. Like in We Don't Talk About Bruno, gives you the same vibe as Nonstop. From
That
Hamilton.
and the strong song.
Surface Pressure?
Surface Pressure. Yeah, that one was my favorite song.
That I did. That's a good song. I related to that on a very strong level. But the movie in and itself was very cleverly written in how they talked about family dynamics and family like connections and that kind of thing, because it is a toxic family. There are toxic things that go on in that family. In that family. And you can just see they did it well in how they made each character like a certain thing in the in that family. So like Isabella was the golden child in the family, and that was her role, and like all the pressure was on her. And then same with Luisa, she was also kind of a golden child where a lot of the pressure was on her. And then you have Mirabel and Bruno, who were both pretty, like they were like the scapegoats of the family, and you can see that just in how they're treated. But yeah, I think it was well done for how how they had to portray that, and so I think that was well done. And the songs, like I said, they were just really good. So
all right, so my thoughts on the movie, I'm gonna phrase this delicately, though I'm just
be careful.
I'm being facetious. It was a good movie. Like it was a very middle of the line in my here's how I'd phrase it to people. It's a middle of the line movie, in my opinion, that had good music, though some of the songs were hit and miss for me. It was middle of the line movie with okay voice acting. The voice acting didn't strike me as whoa, you know. So the voice of the main character, I don't think it fit her whole like look. You know what I mean? That's what hit me. The main thing was like the look of the character and the voice she was saying didn't seem to match at all. And I know that's buying into stereotypes a little bit, but it felt a little off. So that would be my complaint, probably biggest complaint from the movie.
Everybody else though was pretty well matched. Like Luisa, when you think of like strong, powerful, with a deeper voice. Isabella was very like flowy, flowery, like kind of what you expect. So, and then Abuela, it has obviously the older, elderly, grandmotherly tone, and so like for her, you kind of expect that. The rest of them were cast pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think that's I don't think any of the voice actors were like terrible. I just think for the main character, what's her name again? Mirabel. Yeah, I just don't think the voice really matched like her look and her walk and like that sounds judgmental, but that's just what I like. It just didn't seem to fit for me. The music was hit or miss. I loved, as I mentioned, that strong surface pressure. But then when they were, I'm trying to think of the song, but there were other songs that just didn't. okay.
I will say my
You
least
know-
favorite song is actually one of a lot of people's favorites. Is Dos Oruguitas, I think is the name of it. That I didn't.
Well,
I get it fit with the context of it, but that was just I didn't.
what was that one? What point in the film was that one?
That was when. Oh yeah, here's a spoiler. That was when you see Abuela's backstory, and you see her and Pedro together. I mean, I get it fit the story, but I just didn't like the song.
No, yeah. I liked the song where Mirabelle, is that her name?
Yes.
Mirabelle and her perfect sister, the flower girl, were singing.
Oh,
like
what
those
else
two
can I
songs.
do?
Yeah, those two songs were good.
That's a good song.
And it's not a bad movie in my terms at all. I just think it was very middle of the road. It played it safe, and it didn't take chances, which is kind of what Disney movies are.
Well, that's true, and it's trying to broach it to kids too. So like,
right, yeah, I do keep that in mind as well. But like even then, you can sometimes have like good twists in kids movies.
That's true. Well,
like,
okay,
kids shows even like Gravity Falls, for example, is an excellently written Disney show. Which I know its show is different than movie, but like.
Well, that's true.
You can pull similar concepts. From
well,
both.
okay. To be fair, when you think of a big adventure, okay, who? Oh yeah, I was talking to my boyfriend, and he was saying that when they made Raya and the Lost Dragon, they thought it was gonna make Raya. I think it's Raya.
Yeah.
I think it's Raya.
It's Rayla. I've watched the movie 2 times.
It's Raya, not so there's no L in there. It's not like my name.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
You said Rayla.
I don't know why I was saying Rayla, but it's Raya and the Last Dragon.
Anyway,
Whatever.
so pretty much Disney thought that film was gonna. They spent so much money on that film. They thought that film was gonna make. They thought that film was gonna do great, and they thought they were gonna make so much money on it, with merch and stuff. And then they ended up with so much merch left over from it. They didn't think Encanto was going to do that well, and Encanto just soared through their expectations. And they thought that Isabella was going to be the favorite character because the classic Disney princess
well,
vibe,
she's
right?
the Disney princess.
Right, exactly.
Obviously.
But Luisa ended up being everybody's favorite, so they had tons of Isabella merch and not enough Luisa merch.
Yeah, so okay, this is kind of off topic, but since you brought up Rayla and the Last Dragon, I haven't had a chance to absolutely tell how much I did not like that movie.
It is not a great movie.
It was so good. It was so good till the end.
Yes.
The ending was so anticlimactic.
I know.
I was just sitting there and I'm just like, that's it? Like,
I know.
you raise the dragon, you're just gonna cut screen there? And between that and, like, the main dragon that was there, the whole movie, voice acting was not fitting I wanted the elegant dragon. I wanted that, like, I am a dragon and I'm so cool kind of voice. But she was just like, oh.
Sounds like you.
Yeah. I didn't want them to sound like me. I wanted them to sound like Ross. I'm serious. Like, I did not want them to sound like me.
Oh, that's fair. That's funny.
Those are my two main gripes. The ending was very anticlimactic and, like, what?
Yeah.
And the whole, like, dragon not sounding majestic was just throwing me so off, and I just didn't think it was funny.
Yeah, that's fair. What I was getting at that with, though, was she goes on this big, whole, humongo adventure that, like, takes her how far away from her home. Encanto, everything happens right at the house. Mm-hmm. Like, except for maybe the last scene where Abuela and Mirabelle are talking by the river. That's another thing, because the mountain had split. But... no, like, everything pretty much happens at the house or, like, in the village.
Yeah, no,
So it's not like she goes on this big adventure.
I appreciate that, because I think the best character was Bruno. I'm going to be honest.
Yes, Bruno
was the best character and the best written character.
Yes.
He, in my opinion, that was the most emotionally gripping thing about the thing. Was when she was, like, touching the plate that he had drawn on there.
I know.
And, like, he could peep and see all the family dinners. And, like, to me, that was the center of the story for me.
I know.
That's what pulled me in. It wasn't really the dumb acting grandmother, who honestly could not have been more cliche.
She was very cliche.
And... yeah, I don't know.
But
I just think Bruno was the most well-written character. And I'm not dissing grandmother for being cliche, because I think everyone needs that Cinderella abusive mother type thing.
Yeah.
She wasn't abusive. But, you know,
And
everyone,
that's
she
really
was the
emotional,
villain
though.
of the film. She was emotionally the villain
Villain
of the film.
in quotes.
Yeah. Like, she's not bad, but
No.
she was... There has to be some sort of bad guy, right? And just she was the one.
But let's talk about this for 2 seconds. They gave the grandkids...
1, 2, you're done. Okay.
They gave the grandkids good parents, like a good mom and a good dad. Like both Felix and Peppa.
Right.
And Augustine and Julieta. Like all 4 parents were amazing parents. And you barely ever see that in a lot of Disney films. You either have a mom gone, a dad being, like, whatever.
Dad left for milk. Mom died.
You see...
It's either the dad ran away or the mom died.
Right, it's like
those are the 2 options.
There's either no dad or there's no mom. But in this, they gave the kids really, really good parents. And there's one scene where, like, Abuela finds out that Mirabel knows about the vision or whatever. And she confronts Augustine and Julieta about it. And he said, I'm thinking of our Encanto. And he said, I was thinking of my daughter. Like, you never hear that line out of a dad in a Disney film. Hardly ever. So...
No, there are definitely things to be, like, praised about this movie. Mm-hmm. And that is definitely one of them. To not have, like... You can have a story and not have someone's dad or mom missing.
Right,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? You can... Yeah. That was the one cliche thing that was not there.
Right. And I appreciated that. And I've seen so many TikToks about it, too. Because it's like, everybody is like, this was there. This is never there.
And I get that a lot of movies like to represent that a lot of families suffer from that, right?
Well, right.
But there is a point where, like, you do need to have both sides.
I was
and
gonna say,
a lot of Disney movies are like that way, right? The dad's gone, the mom's gone.
Right.
The dad either left or the mom is died.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those seem to be the 2 options.
Yeah, there's obviously outliers and stuff, like Cinderella, the dad dies. But, like,
right,
there's outliers, but it's...
A majority, for the most part.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Encanto, let's move to the music a little bit. You touched on it.
Yes.
What were your favorite 3 songs?
Oh, goodness. We Don't Talk About Bruno. I love that song. You can... Give me 2 seconds to finish.
Like, it's fine.
Give me 2 seconds to finish. Surface Pressure. And these are in no particular order. These are just the... So, yeah. We Don't Talk About Bruno. Surface Pressure. I can't talk. And it's a tie between... I don't know. They're all so good. Probably either Waiting on a Miracle or Family Madrigal. Because Family Madrigal is just that, like, classic upbeat... Opening song.
Yeah.
It was very well written. It explained who everybody was right from the get-go.
That was a clever way to do it. I will admit that.
And the one kid that had the coffee.
This is why kids aren't allowed to have coffee. I've been drinking coffee since I was 5. You can get out of here. And I'm just fine. Maybe.
Are you sure about that? I was going to say, are we sure?
Yeah, so I don't think the music was bad. It was just either the song was a hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
And I like it when every song is one that I love. Like,
that's fair. That's fair.
Dear Evan Hansen was one that every song is very gripping.
That movie made me cry.
Did I not tell you? It was
no, you told me, and
people's complaints with that. I kind of talked about it on the podcast. I was gonna say, you talked about this in another podcast. But, like, you guys need to be more forgiving, because anybody else in that Hansen role would not have made that movie work at all.
No,
like, that movie would not have worked, because he is such a good singer.
And he knows how the character is played.
Because his dad wrote it. Him and his dad wrote the whole play,
right? And he played it on Broadway. Like, he played the character on Broadway. So he already knew what the role was asking, and so he played it very well. Anywho, that's a whole other movie.
And the other thing is he had a lot of makeup on. Yeah, sure, you kind of have to use your imagination a little bit. I'm sorry that you want to be completely immersed, but sometimes you do have to require your own little imagination.
Come on, people.
Anyway, that's a different film argument that I'm sure a lot of filmmakers would disagree with me on. But when you have such an emotionally driven story as Dear Evan Hansen is, I think you have to give it some forgiving measures.
Yes.
Especially because of the topic it was talking about, which is like mental health and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is very viable today.
Right.
So.
Which, and kind of is very similar to Encanto, which touches on mental health as well.
Well, yeah, that film is based around, like, family dynamics, right? So, like, it was different because normally it's the one who has the weird powers is the weird one, but it's the one
Right.
who's normal is the weird one in this case, which is kind of a cool turnaround. But
I would agree.
yeah, so it just messes with like family dynamics and like obviously in the end, whoop-de-doo, everybody's holding hands, their house is built, and all's cool, and Bruno's back. You know,
I've seen it.
which is
I've seen a theory.
oh no.
So it's actually a pretty cool theory. So you know how there are two people in the house that don't have powers, Abuela and Mirabel. And so you know how like the house gets torn down, like it falls apart, right? Well, Mirabel is the one that puts the final doorknob in, and the thought is that when Abuela passes away, Mirabel is kind of going to take that role as like the head of the household almost.
I wouldn't say that's a theory, and that's more of prediction.
I mean, probably, but that's kind of because you see that where they're the only two without powers.
Right.
So
there's a lot of that's good connecting. I hadn't actually thought about that. But
watch
I
a lot
only
of
have
TikTok.
only seen this once.
I watch a lot of TikTok.
And I do not watch TikTok. So that's my problem. I should get TikTok. Just kidding. I'm never going to.
To be fair, it is very addicting.
I don't need another thing like that in my life.
You got YouTube.
I've got YouTube. I have hobbies and school. I don't have enough
Are you
time
saying I
for
don't have
anything
hobbies?
else.
Are you saying
Your
I don't have
hobby
hobbies?
is TikTok.
It is not a TikTok.
TikTok and your boyfriend.
Okay.
She just accepts it at this point. Yeah, so...
I only let you say it because we're friends.
Oh, the friend pull. Let's go. So, what else you got about this movie, Kayla? You have anything else? I described it as a middle-of-the-road movie, so I don't have much to say.
Yeah.
It's a movie. It's out there. Go see it. It's actually not that bad, but I wouldn't put it in my top 10 Disney movie list.
For me, it was definitely better than the average movie. Just because I am one for good music in a movie. And honestly, like, yeah, those are my 3 favorite songs, but you can't really, for me, personally, I can't really pick a favorite. Yeah, I like What Else Can I Do, which is Mirabel and Isabella. Family Madrigal, Waiting on a Miracle, like, all of them for me, except for maybe Dos Oreguitas, but I already said that. They were all so well written. And that might also be, I actually, going into watching the movie, I liked the songs before I knew they were Lin-Manuel Miranda songs. So that's the other thing, too. Yeah, they're written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Lin-Manuel Miranda, which makes them amazing. But, like, I liked them before I knew he was the one that wrote them. So, yeah, that, I mean, I guess that speaks to my music taste. I don't know.
Yeah, so, actually, I should clarify. When I saw this movie, trailers for this movie did not do this movie justice remotely.
Really?
Like, the movie's trailers I thought were terrible. I was just like, oh, this is gonna be like terrible movie. It did no justice to the movie at all. So like, if you're basing it off the trailers, don't, because it will probably be better than the trailers made it out to be.
And you know what you're talking about.
There's a
movies, so
clarification there.
Ooh, I want to touch on one more thing. So I really liked how they portrayed the house as the family cracks. Because
there's a lot of representation within that.
Right, exactly. So you can obviously see it between the family members. But the fact that the house itself is crumbling because the family members, like this is going on between the family members, is so cool and so unique to this movie that you can not only see it in how they interact with each other, but visibly see it in the house. Because when Mirabel and Isabella sing their song, you can see the house fixing itself and healing itself because they're like loving on each other for the first time and they're not like disagreeing with each other anymore. So I don't know, for me that was just a really, really cool representation of that going on.
What I've heard from like a lot of people is show me, don't tell me. So that was an example of the film showing us that the family is falling apart and not having one of those little kids from maybe the beginning of the movie like, they're all arguing and our world is falling apart. You know, there wasn't that like crazy guy in the middle to scream out what's going on. It was physically showing you that the family was falling apart by the house crumbling.
And
so there was a lot of good
representation.
Not representation. A lot of good parallels.
Oh, there you go.
To like what was actually happening.
Yeah.
And you can find that in a lot of films, but that's an example of one in this one.
It's very obvious too. But then the other thing is, like, okay, so their miracle, the candle or whatever, that also made the mountain, right? And when the house crumbled, that was the center of it, and so then it split the road and it split the mountain, which was their protection, which was from the miracle. And so that's also, like, when the miracle is gone, then everything else is gone as well, as, like, so, like, their protection. So, yeah, the representation, the parallels, the visible imagery of that, I think, was very, very, very well done by the writers.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, I don't know if that's for sure a writing thing, but that's a lot of that's animators too.
Well, that's true.
Bringing that to life and that vision, because I think a lot of times what happens on scripts, and then what you hear the voice actors doing, it's sometimes animators have to, like, take that into their own
Their own hands.
Why did I say pause? I don't know where that came from. But they have to take it into their own hands.
He's fine, guys.
Podcasting is hard. They have to take it into their own hands, and they have to bring that to life, which can be a place where a film falls apart, which is bad animating. True. And the animation was there for sure. Yeah, I had no complaints about that. It was more the voice acting on the characters didn't seem to fit the personalities. Which may sound weird, but that's my two take.
Also, did you notice that the families were all dressed in similar colors? Like Peppa and Felix's family were all like yellows and oranges, and then Julieta and Augustine's were like purples, blues.
Yep. I mean, and that's a physical way to, like, help the audience kind of keep track of what's going on, right? Which is nice.
Yeah, and then Bruno, which is interesting because Julieta's blue, Peppa's yellow, Bruno's green. So it'd be interesting if Bruno had a family, because they would all be the green color.
Right, but he doesn't.
But he doesn't have a family. Well, he does have a family, but not a family that's, like, his own little niche.
Right, yeah.
Niche. I don't know.
His own little corner. Well, yeah, I mean, he was in the corner, but his own little corner of the family.
Jeez. That was dark.
That was a good joke. I don't know. I kind of liked that one.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, so that's Encanto. Disney Plus is the place to go see that if you are if you're one of the few who actually hasn't seen it. It seems I seems to be the last person on earth to
I have been trying to get him to watch it for weeks.
She would text me, like, every week, like, have you watched it yet? I'm like, no.
To be fair,
and
it's a good movie.
The only reason I was able to watch it was because one of my classes got out, like, 45 minutes early because we took a test, and I'm just a fast test taker, apparently. Also, it's multiple choice, so, like...
Oh, see, multiple choice tests are easy.
You kind of only have a few options.
Exactly.
So, yeah. I would go see it. I rank it a 7 out of 10.
I would rank it more like
6.5.
I would rank it like an 8.5.
Yeah.
And that's my personal...
Kayla's more of the Disney girl than I am.
Hi. This is true.
So,
this is true.
Thank you, Kayla, for joining me. It's been a while since you've been on, so it's good to have you back on.
It's got to be about a year.
Was it? Is it really?
When's the last time I was on here?
Oh, goodness. It was... Okay, yeah.
It was Disney.
We talked about Disney way back in June 30th.
No, you put that... No, we talked about that.
Oh.
It was before summer.
Right, but from when my
It
audience would
had
have
to have been
heard
like
it.
April we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about it, but I released it in June.
Right.
So to the audience, that would have happened in June over summer.
That's
so
fair.
you haven't been on the podcast since June.
Yeah,
technically.
I haven't been here in a while, y'all.
So go to Disney Plus and go see it. Also, Free Guy is on Disney Plus, and me and Micah, my friend, was on the podcast on episode 18, talked about Free Guy. So you should go watch Free Guy and then go listen to me and Micah talk about Free Guy on the podcast. Hey. Shameless self-plug.
I was going to say, that was definitely a self-plug.
Really smooth.
Jeez, come on.
Alright, so yeah, links to anything you need to know about will be in the description, so go check that out. Keep low lookout on this channel for different types of content. I will be releasing content not as much anymore. It's going to be kind of sporadic throughout the year. I'm not going to, like, try to push out one every week like I did last year.
It's called school.
It's called school. Yeah. And also I've been putting a little more focus on what I've been putting out and what I've been recording. So, and this podcast is no different. So this will probably come out a week from now for your perspective. But
yeah,
this will come out sometime in March. That's what I'm gonna say.
Well, you'll have plenty of time over spring break.
Yeah, that's true. So, as always, thank you guys for listening. Anything you need, down in the description. Later, guys. I gotta do the thing. When life gives you lemons, do some magic.
Oh boy.
That's my outro. Why does everyone judge my outro?
No, I'm just like...